My name is David Van Gough and I'm a necro-surrealist artist. Necro-surrealism was a movement started by an artist in Russia called Evgeny Yufit. What he did was he propelled it as a way of making decay as something beautiful. I was born in 1967 and I was brought up in a place called Kilkenny in Ireland. I lived there until I was about 3 years of age, and then my family moved from Ireland to the port of Liverpool. Liverpool during the 1970s was an area of great hardship. The Beatles had already kind of left. The shipping industry had died. You kind of took your life in your own hands during the evenings. It was very akin to something from Beirut, and so that had a huge influence psychically on the way that I approached my life. I was very withdrawn, and subsequently I became an artist. I think art became important to me at a very quintessential moment. I was fortunate enough to have a teacher called Miss Hughes who, having seen something that I'd scrawled on my sketchbook and showed me a picture of Hieronymus Bosch's Garden of Earthly Delights in black and white. For the first time, I realized that that was the path that was going to be set out for me, and that was something that I really wanted to do. Through people like Hieronymus Bosch, I became aware of people like Bruegel, writers like Dante, Gustave Doré, who did these incredible illustrations. And always in the back of my mind, I think that I wanted in some way to manifest a series that was every bit as epic and every bit as overwhelmingly macabre, though in a contemporary setting, in a way in which it related more to my exterior world as opposed to the world that someone like Gustave Doré encompassed. The thing that prompted me rather to start Paradiso's Fall was that we had been unceremoniously evicted from a place that we'd lived in the city during 2016, and as a necessity we'd had to move economically to a cheaper place, and it forced us to move to the countryside. So that, coupled with me turning 50, and then of course America's what it seemed that my affection for the place that I'd moved to in America had been beguiled by this West predilection, influenced how the series was going to look. So it was almost a way of me writing a farewell to a person that I was, and trying to accommodate a way of looking forward. For this series, I've been reading a philosopher called Emile Durkheim, who had formulated this philosophy called anomie, which basically, in its essence, was about society wanting to suicide itself. So the series was informed a lot by this idea that because mankind has this intrinsic need at some juncture to want to end itself, that we are pushing ourselves presently to that point. And I'm using historical context to warn us of that, to give us a series of markers, if you will, to remind us of our past and in some way try to inform us of a way to avoiding an inevitable future, which I fear is our own annihilation. Join us for the End of the World party at Dark Art Emporium, Paradiso's Fall, March the 9th. Look forward to seeing you there.